The original Five Nights at Freddy's game took the internet by storm. The game's 10-year anniversary just took place a little over a week ago, releasing back on August 8th of 2014. To say that the Five Nights at Freddy series has changed the landscape of not only YouTube but pop culture as a whole would be an understatement. FNAF has cemented itself in gaming history with its tremendous success. It's easy to see why. The gameplay for the video games is simple and very accessible for anyone to get into the series. Along with that, the cast of characters and the animatronics are very marketable for the merchandise side of things, which I'm sure brings in a lot of profit. The FNAF brand has gotten so big that it even received a movie released back in October of last year. I'm not the biggest fan of the Five Nights at Freddy's lineup of games, to be honest. I barely even play games in the horror genre. I played the original game that came out 10 years ago. I played a little bit of FNAF 2 after that came out, but after that I didn't really keep up with follow-up titles in the series. There have been 11 games released in its 10-year lifespan thus far, and I finally dove into these games with the most recent entry, Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit. I very much enjoyed my time with Into the Pit, more than I thought I would. I happened to be browsing through Steam, my girlfriend pointed it out and said, hey, maybe you should play this and make a video on it, and now here we are. Into the Pit is a 2D adventure horror game with puzzle-solving elements. This game already wins me over with its art direction. The 2D pixel art with its beautiful and swift animations makes this a treat to look at. The sound direction is also a pleasure to my ears. Props to the team of the work they did for this OST. Just about every track is a banger. This OST is something I would definitely play in the background while I'm working on something else. So again, great job. Just a heads up before we dive further, this video will contain spoilers, so if that is something that you want to avoid, well, you have been warned. I'm still going to try and avoid as much as I can since the game is fresh and it just came out not too long ago. When you make content like this, getting into spoilers is kind of inevitable. It's just bound to happen. Into the Pit starts off with this 10-year-old kid by the name of Oswald. Oswald is struggling to adjust to his new way of life. After the mill in town closed down 3 years ago, it caused many families to move out of town and businesses to shut down operations. Oswald wants to move as well, dreading the boring summer vacation so much that he can't wait for school to start once again. But due to complications with his grandmother and her health, Oswald's dad explains that because of these barriers, they have no choice but to stay put and cannot move. Oswald's routine every day is pretty much being dropped off to the local pizzeria by his father and giving him enough money for a slice of pizza and some soda before picking him up after he is done with work for the day. The pizzeria is called Jeff's Pizza. Jeff's Pizza is obviously run down and has seen better days. Clearly, this pizzeria used to be a more vibrant and upbeat environment. A lot of the rooms are just collecting dust, not being used. There's a stage that seemingly no one performs on. There's even a room with a ball pit that has yellow tape on it that says do not use. Jeff is the only one running this place. There are no other employees and he constantly looks exhausted. When Oswald makes it to Jeff's Pizza that same day, he decides to go hide into the ball pit after he is made aware of its existence, forcing his father to go inside of the pizzeria to find him. Strangely though, when Oswald comes out of the ball pit, there's tons of kids having fun, shiny arcade cabinets, and everyone seems to be enjoying themselves and having a grand old time. Oswald happened to draw mechanical animals during the opening cutscene for whatever reason. The kid then spots these animals he drew up on stage performing, a brown bear, blue rabbit, and a yellow bird, but they look way creepier here. Ultimately, Oswald concludes that this is what Jeff's Pizza used to be, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Oswald then meets two other kids, Chip and Mike. After a game of skee-ball and tag, Oswald plays hide-and-seek with the boys. Oswald hides in a brown bear animatronic, the lights go out, and a yellow rabbit appears, moving on its own. Everyone in the pizzeria scatters, children and parents screaming. As he gets out of the animatronic he was hiding in, he attempts to find Chip and Mike. However, he stumbles upon the scary-looking yellow rabbit, signaling Oswald to follow it. As Oswald opens the door where the yellow rabbit is located, he finds a row of other children who have been killed by the hands of the yellow rabbit. The yellow rabbit then lunges at Oswald but manages to escape without even a scratch on him. Upon returning, Oswald's dad and Jeff, the owner of the pizza place, find him coming out of the ball pit. After scolding Oswald, the yellow rabbit pops out of the ball pit and ends up pulling him, capturing Oswald's dad and taking him to the other side. Oswald here managed to pull back his dad to safety, or so he thought, this being isn't his dad. Somehow the animatronic has infiltrated Oswald's world and is able to maintain his dad's appearance when necessary. Oswald discovers he can go in and out of the ball pit between the two worlds. The ball pit acts as a portal of sorts between Jeff's Pizza and Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. And here lies the main objective of the game. Without spoiling more of the story, you basically have to go in between the two worlds, solve puzzles, find key items, hide when you're in the line of sight of the animatronics, and don't die. You also have 5 different locations in which you traverse: Oswald's house, the school, the library, the shutdown mill, and most importantly, the pizzeria. Honestly, the most insignificant locations have to be the library and the mill. There's really not much to these locations aside from a few extra items to gather. You can't even go inside of these locations, it's just the front exterior that you have access to. The school, you do a bit more. You can actually run around inside, and quite a number of events actually take place here. Most of the narrative, you'll find yourself at Oswald's house and the pizzeria. These 2 locations are the ones where you'll be playing cat and mouse with the animatronics. If you undergo a casual playthrough such as myself, you're looking at about a 5 to 6 hour runtime. I do plan to get back into the game and play a little bit more, as I only managed to get 2 out of the 5 endings, those being See Ya Dad, the optional ending, and What Am I, the bad ending. Yes, this game has multiple endings and many achievements in case you want to 100% the game. I don't plan on doing that, but if that's your way to approach games, there you go. I have yet to mention the arcade cabinets. These arcade cabinets play a major role in the completion aspect of what I just mentioned for the endings and achievements. The arcade cabinets are broken. Throughout the game, you'll come across pieces of these machines that you will need to gather in order to fix them and be able to play the minigames. I also did not fix all of them, so I have not experienced all of the minigames. These minigames, from my understanding, are filled with lore and Easter eggs, so if you've kept up with FNAF and its universe for the last 10 years, I'm sure this is very rewarding, just seeing callbacks to previous titles in the series. I know when I play a video game, Pokemon for example, in the new generation of games gives you little Easter eggs here and there to previous generations. That is pretty cool, and I'm sure there's no exception here. Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit, of course, comes with your typical horror genre jump scares. When it comes to the horror side of the gameplay, it's what you would expect with those jump scares. There are plenty of locations in which you can hide when being chased by an animatronic, such as vents and under tables, just to name a few. While you hide at times, there will be these segments like getting rid of spiders or holding your breath to avoid making noise when Spring Bonnie is onto you. Failing at these, of course, will get you killed. Another cool thing that spices up the gameplay are noisemakers. It is as it sounds. If you're trying to get to a different location in the pizzeria or in Oswald's house, there will be objects you can trigger to make noise. This will distract and ease the stress when traveling to a different part of the building to avoid getting caught. One thing that really confused me was why they made the decision to make Oswald trip every now and then when running. I found it kind of annoying at first, but I also kind of understood it. You know, the kid is scared, of course. He's going to be running off of adrenaline and trip out of fear, but the devs also put an achievement here for when Oswald trips. 3 of them, as a matter of fact. Big Kid, which you need to trip 5 times, Toddler, which you need to trip 20 times, and Baby for a total of 100 times. I did not complete that 3rd one. Speaking of achievements, this will be the last thing we cover. Some of those are incredibly difficult. If you have the time, go ahead and knock yourself out. I love achievement systems in games, a challenge set by the devs to complete and checkmark as you progress, though for this game I just completed what I completed as I went, and I don't really plan on trying to complete every objective. Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit was fun. The game is not badly priced at a crispy 20 bucks. I did play the Steam version, not sure if the prices differ on other platforms, probably not, but for 20 bucks I think the price is not too bad for what I got out of it. Now if you'll excuse me, here's a jump scare to end the video.